preventive healthcare, because this year has been a year of, such great challenge to us, and now preventive healthcare has been put into the spotlight. So what can we do to help ourselves as women, as the head of the family, I would say, and also to help our family maintain our good, vibrant health throughout, with pandemic or without pandemic. So today I'm going to talk about preventive healthcare. You're able to see my slide, right? Okay. So what does preventive healthcare mean? Now, preventive healthcare means you are doing something, to prevent, you have got your commitment there to make sure that you are putting in effort to ensure wellness. Now, wellness does not just mean that, I don't have diabetes, I don't have cholesterol, I don't have cancer. It's not just about a physical illness. Wellness for a human being also encompasses the wellness of your emotion and your mental well-being. Because this year, as you know, with the MCO, stress levels have gone out. Most people are not able to sleep well. Anxiety has set in, things like that happening. So it's not just the physical part that we have to look into, but how are we going to make sure that our emotions, our physical and our mental well-being is all taken care of to ensure that we are truly healthy in that sense. So these are the things that I would like to share today on what I have been doing for my family for the past up 10 years. Okay, these are the pillars of health that I'm going to share today. Now, the first thing we know is the food, right? So if you look at the pyramid there, the basis is your food. You have to eat right, because your food is your fuel. Just like if you have a car, you have to pump petrol. That's the correct fuel for your car. Now, what about yourself, your vehicle as a person, a physical vehicle? So what are you going to eat? I think a lot of us are aware what we should eat, what we should not eat, but I will go into the details, the finer details in my next few slides. So these are the other pillars that you have to touch base with as much as possible on a daily basis, all right? Food is your fuel, food is health, and food can be the slowest poison that you feed yourself and your family. So this is what can lead to a lot of chronic issues as well, right? Now, the second thing is the exercise. Now, exercise is not just for people who want to stay slim. People tell me, oh, I'm already slim, I don't need to exercise. Now, exercise is not just about weight management, okay? If you look at it, exercise is also very important for your muscle, for your heart, for your immune system, okay? That's why, during MCO, the health minister has urged everyone, do some exercise at home. You're not able to go out, you're not able to jog, but you can do something at home. In this age of, advanced technology, you can bring everything into your house through YouTube to videos. You can search for so many information. So while I was guiding a lot of members in my doTERRA team during the MCO, because as you know, as women, it was a very highly stressful time. We were cooking all meals, and a lot of us became umi garang because our children were often opening the fridge, including mine, keep asking you for food, and you don't really have much personal time, So how do we find time to fit all this in? Now, the exercise, if you're going to look at something, you don't have time from morning till nighttime. Okay, let's say this is something that you have to incorporate into your life. Probably put aside just 10 minutes a day. Maybe you like to dance. Okay, put on a YouTube video in the comfort of your home, just you and the TV or the video, and dance. All right, this is a way to get your body moving. If you don't like to dance, you do some yoga or some stretching, anything that calls to you to get yourself moving. Because when you exercise regularly, and I mean regularly, not like 1 week I exercise once lah, okay, no. It has to be regular in the sense that every day you are doing something, because this investment is what goes into your well-being in terms of stress management. You feel good, your body feels good, you have the energy, A lot of times people think that, I'm well, I don't have a chronic issue, but after 2 p.m., you're already so tired. And by evening, you don't even have any more energy to spend with your spouse or play with your children or even have time for yourself. So this is not really wellness, okay? So we need to address that. So exercise is always there, and find time for it. Now, the third aspect for us women, I feel it's difficult to carve time out for rest because we are always caring for others. Am I right? Your spouse, your children, your in-laws, your parents. We have always taken the burden of caring for another person. And a lot of times we put ourselves at the back. We find that, oh, it's so selfish to have that time for myself, to just have a nap or to read a book or to meet a friend. Okay, so now this has to change. You need to manage your stress. Now, for me personally, I use essential oils. I use doTERRA essential oils because they are pure, they are therapeutic, and they are tested. So these oils I use to help balance my emotions, to help with good sleep, because when you are very stressed in life, because throughout the day memang got stress kan, from the moment you wake up in the morning, just things just ongoing in your mind. What's the next thing to do? I have to prepare this for my child. I have to pick up this boy from school. I have to go marketing. It's just ongoing. When you have uncontrolled stress, you will find that you cannot go to bed easily at night. Am I right? You find that you are so tired, but your mind will not shut off. Now, this is not uncommon because the high stress levels that you are facing is called cortisol, by the way. That's the stress hormone. It causes you to have this issue. And when you don't sleep well at night, what happens? You feel cranky. Your mood is not good. You feel your temper is not there. You feel tired. Now, when all these things come together, it's like a time bomb before you explode, right? And a lot of times when you do not take care of that rest, that adequate sleep, you find that chronic illnesses will creep in because your body doesn't have enough time to detoxify, to regenerate. All these things go on when you go to sleep. So we have to make sure that the sleep that we have is really, really good, adequate sleep. When you go to sleep and you wake up feeling fresh, that means it's enough. Everybody is different. You may need 5 hours, I may need 6 hours. Okay, it depends, right? So that has to be taken care of. The next one that we are not very aware of is the toxic load. Now, a lot of you will be wondering, what toxic load do I have? My house is clean, I eat good food, you know, stuff like that. Now, this toxic load is about things that we inhale. Okay, not about outside, but let's look at our environment in the house. You know, during MCO, you are in the house like 24/7. You know, what are you inhaling? Do you have a lot of fragrances in your home? Are you cleaning your house with cleaners that are highly toxic, with chemicals inside? You know, are your personal care products, have you looked into those? What are the ingredients inside? A lot of times there are preservatives, there are parabens, there are SLS. Now, all these may be quite alien to you, but these chemicals that you are inhaling, that you're applying on your skin, it goes directly into your system. And when this kind of accumulation happens, you find that you are at a higher risk of having a chronic disease come in. Now, so the other thing that we need to look into for wellness, for prevention, is informed self-care. Now, informed self-care means you take the trouble to do your yearly blood test. If you're supposed to, you get your immunization. If you're a woman, a pap smear, okay, your mammogram if required, so that if there are any health red flags that come up, you know, during that time, because sometimes it's already chronic, then only you find out, oh, I had this issue, but I never got it checked. You know, as women, we always put ourselves last. I'll check it later. I'll check it later. No, do it now. Do it this year. So when you do this kind of tests that are there, you are able to pinpoint actually what happened, when did it happen, and what can I do to make sure that it does not escalate further to become something chronic, right? So informed self-care is very, very important. Now, the final one is proactive medical care. When you know that you have been unwell for a couple of days, okay, don't hide at home. Please go and see a physician, right? Make sure that the diagnosis is correct, because these days everybody Google master. They Google their symptoms. I could be this, it could be that, it could be this, and you create even more anxiousness in yourself. So please do not do that. Go and see your family physician and get it sorted out, right? So now I'm going to talk about very briefly about nutrition. okay? I love nutrition because this is how we keep ourselves going. And please do not think that at a certain age, I must have this illness coming in. Please do not ever listen to that thinking that, oh, I'm already 40 years old. So that means soon my eyesight will be failing, my memory will be failing, I will have aches and pains, I will feel very tired. You know, this is subconscious programming. And I would say, please put aside all that. You are as healthy as you invest yourself to be in. So looking at food, what are you supposed to eat? Now during MCO, we were all cooking 24/7, right? So we all became really good chefs at home. So this is a guideline, the Malaysian guideline. You see the Pinggan Sehat Malaysia. We love our food because in Malaysia, we have so much of good mouth-watering food. And if you are in Penang, like me, I live in Penang, it's just really challenging. So you have to pick your food correctly. So the quarter part of the first area is usually your carbs. Now your carbs are your rice, your noodles, your bread, and so on. So it is a quarter portion. Now those days, we used to have rice like so much, right? And you eat. So no, because too much of rice, too much of carbo with the sedentary lifestyle that we have, we are not doing a lot of physical work. These carbs actually get stored as fat, as sugar, right? And unfortunately, in Malaysia, we consume a lot of sugar in our drinks and so on. So that's too much sugar for one person, right? So quarter amount of carbo is there. Choose something that has got sustained release of energy for you. Probably not white rice, brown rice, parboiled rice, wholemeal bread, something that will give you longer lasting energy instead of having that white rice and having that spike of sugar. You feel very alert, but after lunch, you're like, you feel so tired. Okay, and then you have to drink a cup of coffee to boost you up again, right? So this is not how it should be. Get something sustainable. Now, the second portion you will see is the protein. So looking at, buying food, a lot of people tell me to eat real food is very expensive, but actually it is not. If you're looking at protein, you can get good wholesome protein with lean meat. If fish is expensive, you can get eggs. Those are wholesome protein, right? So your protein is there because it gives you not just energy. Protein also gives you energy, but it's the basic building block for your muscle and so on. So you need that protein. And now the biggest portion, the biggest portion is your vegetables and fruits. Now, again, a lot of people tell me, oh, I need to have kale or I need to have all these fancy vegetables, asparagus. No, looking at it locally, just eat fresh vegetables, and our fruits. You don't have to eat apples and oranges. You can get good nutrition from our papayas, our bananas, guava. Okay, so this is the half portion that you need to consume. So we consider this as a balanced nutrition. Now, inside here, that it's not stated, but liquids are important. And I mean liquids, not coffee and tea. And I mean clean, plain water, because plain water is required to balance your temperature and also to detoxify. Your kidney needs liquid. So your 2 liters of water has to be there. On top of that, if you're looking at, going out to eat, I don't have this plate with me. How am I supposed to know what is half, what is quarter? Okay, look at your arm, look at your hand. So your one palm is your protein portion, right? And the fist, you see how small your fist is? This is your cup. A lot of us don't eat this much, we eat a lot more, right? So this is how you can slowly portion your food, right? Now, what about cooking? How are we going to cook it? Because a lot of times we are used to using a lot of seasoning. Now, this seasoning also have detrimental effects, okay? So we would like to eat healthily and you want to feed yourself the best nutritious food. So salt, okay, we know that excess amount of salt leads to hypertension, high blood pressure, right? It affects your kidney because your kidneys have to work extra hard to get rid of the salt, right? Sugar, I already talked about that. High amounts of sugar not only lead to high incidence of diabetes and cancer, but it also reduces your immune system. Now, your white blood cells are your askar, your soldier, and they do not like excess sugar. It makes them dull. They can't fight. So that's why we don't recommend a lot of sugar consumption. And food enhancers. Food enhancers means all your soy sauce, your oyster sauce, your MSG, all those are food enhancers. Now, so how do we cook then? It's so bland, salt and sugar, you know. So you use spices. You know, we have all these spices that we've been using in our curries, the herbs. Okay, use this to flavor your food. Okay, this takes some time to get used to, but this is the right way to do it. Reduce deep frying because you don't want excess amount of oil going into your diet. And what we can do easily is to do steaming. You can do roasting. And I think many people bought air fryer during MCO because, you know, we were preparing so much of food. So air fry it, right? And we also try to eliminate highly processed food. Now, your highly processed food looks like fake food. It's not real. Now, real food means something that looks in its original, a vegetable, a fruit, meat. It's real. It's original. Fake food means it's already been processed to look like something it didn't look like in the beginning. So these are going into your sausages, your burger patties, and things like that. So we try to eat as much real food as possible because highly processed food means there are preservatives, they have added flavoring and stuff like that. It's not nutritious, right? So we're looking at nutrition, not at calories, right? Fast food. So fast food is another thing that I think we all know, you know, the sugary drinks, the high fat content in your burgers and fast food. Try to reduce or eliminate it. Use it as once in a while kind of food, not a weekly thing to indulge in. And I would also like to add fermented food because our gut, our stomach is not just a food churning machine. Okay, our gut actually produces hormones. If you've heard of serotonin, now serotonin is a happy hormone. So that is why it's very important to keep our stomach happy. Fermented foods like tempeh, yogurt, and so on are really important to make sure that the good bacteria is there. And of course, they fight the bad. So when you want to boost your immune system, we talk about preventive healthcare in the pandemic, you need to touch base with all these things to make sure that your immune system is ready to fight, is robust. Okay, so this is one of the issues. Fermented food, add on as much as possible, and of course clean water like I mentioned. So this is a very brief sharing of mine regarding the 5 pillars of health that we need to touch base on, and of course going into the foods and how we prepare them so that we can nourish our physical body to help with any issues that come along, and of course to prevent chronic issues.